Shalom, shalom. I'm back one more time. I want to go ahead and speak about this witchcraft, like I said, right? So, first and foremost, I want to show you some stuff. First, I'm going to start here. Because those who don't believe, they think it's fake. They think that what's going on in the world is not real. They think that it's something, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot more realer than what people think it is, right? And so, one thing that these people do is they like to harness energy. Okay? They love to harness energy. Let me show you. Alright, so let me show you a few books. Right? This is one of them. Okay? We already know who Mr. Crowley is. This is another one. Aleister Crowley in America. Art, Espionage, and Sacred Energy Exchange Magic, and the New World. Right? Okay. So, let me read a few inserts. I'm going to read a few inserts from this book right here. The Pascal Beverly Randolph, the 19th century Black American spiritualist, Rosicrucian, and Sacred Energy Exchange magician, right? And you see what they say he is. They say it's a Black American, but he's not. However, this is an insert from his book, and it says Randolph. Let's let it. There we go. It says Randolph developed one of the most influential systems in Sacred Energy Exchange magic. As per him, the moment when one reaches orgasm is the most intense and the most powerful experience a human can have in life. For in that moment, the soul is suddenly opens to the divine realm, and the breath of Yah is infused. I'm going to finish reading this, but I'm going to touch back right here, right? So the breath of Yah is infused. He said, true Sacred Energy Exchange power is Yah power, is Elohim power, right? As such as the power of orgasm can be used by man and woman, various gains, both worldly and spiritual. Okay? Now, before I read some more, this should show that anybody who is considers himself a spiritualist and then they try to be able to denounce the Most High. The Most High is real. That's first and foremost. Second of all, he speaks about, let me enlarge this up so I can, So he speaks about basically the breath, the ruach. The ruach is the spirit, the ruach is the breath, right? So if we see that the ruach is the spirit of the breath, you know what I'm saying, then we see clearly this is why they use it. This is what they harness that for. This is another reason why whenever they do their little rituals and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, being deviant, you know what I'm saying, of high society and all this type of stuff, they end up doing that is because they're trying to pull from. They're using certain rituals to harness you know what I'm saying, sexually. You know what I'm saying? This is just one of them. It's a few other ways they do this. And so for them to be able to harness from, you know what I'm saying, said individual that they select, then they're able to draw power from that person. A lot of the things in the industry is dealt with of power. As we know, there are people that chase power. They chase power and authority, right? So if this was not true, there would not be people that, you know what I'm saying, they end up going to Bohemian Grove and giving praise, you know what I'm saying, and worship to Moloch, you know what I'm saying, Baphomet, you know what I'm saying, so Beelzebub and all this type of stuff. It wouldn't be these people, Mammon as well, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't be these people that mess around and dedicate, you know what I'm saying, themselves unto these entities. So this should already show you that demons are very much real. One thing about demons is that demons require souls and blood. This is why they have blood contracts. This is why whenever they send out witches to be able to try to, you know what I'm saying, execute somebody who is of high ranking in the spiritual realm, you know what I'm saying, of you know what I'm saying, of heavenly order, then, you know what I'm saying, if they're able to do so, then they're able to rank up. This is how they rank up. Aside from them doing certain rituals and stuff like that, but one of the main ways they're able to rank up is to basically undergird, you know what I'm saying, and possess or take over or eliminate, you know what I'm saying, a soul or a spirit. Okay? So we know this for facts is because it's so many people that have been in the industry that have been on certain plateaus, and so they end up being unalived, you know what I'm saying, by individuals. It's about power. Even whenever they use these people for their ritualistic practices, you know what I'm saying, whenever they're having orgies and all this type of stuff, right, they use them for their power. Now let me read another thing and show you. Also right here really quickly, it also says that see here, it says true sacred energy exchange power is Elohim power, is God power, you know what I'm saying, Yahweh power, right? The reason it says that is because those who understand, you know what I'm saying, this is what you're using to basically, you're supposed to be able to create life. This is what bridges, you know what I'm saying, a connection between man and woman for them to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to induce, you know what I'm saying, the female body with the spark of life, which we've already shown in, I think it's a video I did called Mysteries, right? So you can go look that video up. Now, in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying, this is what it is to procreate. That energy was used to be able to procreate, but they use it for pleasure. Now, because they don't want to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to procreate, they have been able to use it with their energy, you know what I'm saying, being exchanged, and to be able to try to manifest certain things, if not harness, but also manifest, you know what I'm saying, via the victim or those who, you know what I'm saying, undergo these things with those people, right? So look, let's show you this. So it says here, Randolph insisted that for the magic to be effective and prayers, you see that word prayers, to be fulfilled, both partners involved should achieve gasm at the same time. I'm trying not to say it because I don't want people to, you know what I'm saying, try to flag the video or whatever. But anyway, gasms at the same moment. His teachings were later passed on to numerous sacred societies in Europe and also on Slovakia, and the most notable being Ordo Templi, right? Ordo Templi, Orientis, or OTO, found by Karl Kleiner and Theodore Roos, right? Now, the ways of him being able to, for them to be able to use these things would be this, right? Which would be masturbatory or auto, you know what I'm saying, sexual magic techniques that were taught, referred as lesser work of soul. And you see soul, spelled soul, right? soul, and then the sun, also the light within the individual. Okay. Now, masturbatory is a thing that they show people whenever they have infringed this on the people, whenever they end up, you know what I'm saying, making everything pornographic. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's pornographic. They have all kind of things, and they have made the industry to where it's been overly sexualized in order for individuals, you know what I'm saying, to be able to lust unwillingly. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, because they keep showing you this and showing you this and showing you this, then this makes it to where people will end up overly lusting, right? So you can see a female that mess around and have just a piece of skin showing in a long dress or whatever, and then you start thinking hypersexual thoughts. Or you can see a female that, you know what I'm saying, ad or whatever when they're modeling, you know what I'm saying, undergarments or whatever, and then you hypersexualize it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with women. Men can mess around and be having, you know what I'm saying, we can be wearing gray sweatpants or whatever, or we could be wearing basketball shorts or whatever, and the main thing that you're going to do is over-sexualize and looks directly to, you know what I'm saying, where the focal point is for y'all, for us, right? And so because these things are over-sexualized, you know what I'm saying, then it becomes hypersexual. And so within the midst of that, that makes one to be able to be susceptible, you know what I'm saying, and receptive to be able to enact those actions, you know what I'm saying, for them to be able to be voluntarily in the act. So because they show these things in music videos and on TV and all this type of stuff, then this makes it to where everybody is like, okay, well, let's go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, let's be with it, right? So now this is another part of the adverse effect of that, is that now we're dealing in a society where, you know what I'm saying, people truly are looking for relationships. And it's hard because those who have, you know what I'm saying, succumb to the pressure and everything like that, mess around and, you know what I'm saying, want to be able to still be able to maintain a form of income due to inflation and all this type of stuff. So they're looking for the easy way out, which would be, you know what I'm saying, to sell hyper sexualized imagery of themselves or to promote, you know what I'm saying. So they have been taught now that to be able to look appealing and to look beautiful, you know what I'm saying, in their essence, they have to wear as less clothes as possible and all this type of stuff. And there's been a lot of people that's like, okay, well, why can't they just be naked and be in there, you know what I'm saying, because that's how it's supposed to be. Now, if it was supposed to be that way, you know what I'm saying, we would have no need for clothes, right? And if it was supposed to be that way, you know what I'm saying, then everybody would be walking around freely that way. They would not feel shame. There would be no need for body shaming or anything like that, right? So because body shaming and all these things exist and stuff like that, shows you that those are significations that these things are not supposed to be. The things that people truly want to do is, you know what I'm saying, like those things that are the carnal is not what a person is truly supposed to do, right? You got people that's carnal, that they feel like that they want to go out and hurt people, or, you know what I'm saying, treat children a certain type of way, or disrespect women or men or whatever, you know what I'm saying, abuse animals and all this type of stuff, right? Some people want to mess around and deal with animals and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, which we see, and it's crazy in these times. And so everybody tends to make an excuse for these things. But we see that these are demonic practices. And this is just the way that the enemy tries to allow people to be able to, you know what I'm saying, get in contract with it, in agreement with it. Okay? So let's go on some more. Another way is heterosexual magical techniques, right, that were taught. It's another technique. Heterosexual, which man and woman, right? And then the other one is anal intercourse, the magical techniques that were taught, right? So the anal intercourse is what a lot of them have been doing, you know what I'm saying, in the industry. Now, let me show you this. Let me read this as well. I need to go to my Facebook page because we need to review this as well. So you can understand this, because maybe this will kind of spark, you know what I'm saying, some type of thoughts on people, and that, like, basically kind of show you what the agenda is that they want to press. So we're going to go back here to what I have read 2 times in the past. This will be the 3rd time that I'm reading this, so you can grasp this all the way. Okay? Oops. Boom. There we go. The Homosexual Manifesto by Michael Swift. We've came here before, you know what I'm saying? The Gay Revolutionary, reprinted from the Congressional Record of the United States Congress. Okay? So it says first printed in the Gay Communist News, February 15th through 21st of 1987. We shall sodomize your sons, emblems of your feeble masculinity, of your shallow dreams and vulgar lies. We shall seduce them in your schools, in your dormitories, in your gymnasiums, in your locker rooms, in your sports arenas, in your seminaries, in your youth groups, in your movie theaters, in your movie theater bathrooms, in your army bunkhouses, in your truck stops, in your male clubs, in your houses of Congress, wherever men are with men together. Your sons shall become our minions and do the bidding. They will be recast in our image. They will come to crave and adore us. Women, you cry for freedom. You say you are no longer satisfied with men. They make you unhappy. We, connoisseurs of the masculine face, the masculine physique, shall take your men from you. Then. We will amuse them. We will instruct them. We will embrace them when they weep. Women, you say you wish to live with each other instead of with men. Then go and be with each other. We shall give your men pleasures they have never known, because they are foremost men too. Because we are foremost men too, which is disgusting. Let's see here. Where is it at? Okay, and only one man knows how to truly please another man. Only one man can understand the depths and feeling of the mind and body of another man. All laws banning homosexual activity will be revoked. Instead, legislation shall be passed which engenders love between men. All homosexuals must stand together as brothers. We must be united aristocratically, philosophically, socially, politically, and financially. We will triumph only when we present a common face to the vicious heterosexual enemy. If you dare cry faggot, fairy, queer at us, we will stab you in your cowardly hearts and defile your dead, puny bodies. We shall write poems of love between men. We shall stage plays in which man openly caresses man. We shall make films about love between heroic men which will replace the cheap, superficial, sentimental, insipid, juvenile, heterosexual infatuations presently dominating your cinema screens. We shall sculpt images of beautiful young men, of bold athletes, which will be placed in your parks, your squares, your plazas. The museums of the world will be filled only with paintings of grateful, naked lads. Our writers and artists will make love between men fashionable and do rigueur, and we will succeed because we are adept at styles. at setting styles. We will eliminate heterosexual liaisons through the usage of the device of wit and ridicule, devices which are skilled in employing. We will unmask the powerful homosexuals who masquerade as heterosexuals. You will be shocked and frightened when you find that your presidents and their sons, your industrialists, your senators, your mayors, your generals, your athletes, your film stars, your television personalities, your civic leaders, your priests are not the safe, familiar, bourgeois, heterosexual figures you assume them to be. We are everywhere. We have infiltrated your banks. Your ranks. Be careful when you speak of homosexuals because they are they are among you, which may be sitting across the desk from you. We may be sleeping in the same bed with you, which is disgusting. You see this? So it says also here that there will be no compromises. We are not middle class weaklings, highly intellectual, and we are natural aristocrats of the human race, and steely minded aristocrats will never settle for less. Those who oppose us will be exiled. We shall raise vast private armies as Mishima did to defeat you. We shall conquer the world because warriors inspired by and banded together by homosexual love and honor are invincible as were the ancient Greek soldiers. The family unit, spawning grounds of lies, betrayals, mediocrity, hypocrisy, and violence, will be abolished. The family unit, which only dampens imagination and curbs free will, must be eliminated. Perfect boys will be conceived and grown in the genetic laboratory. They will be bonded together in communal settings under the control of the instruction of the homosexual savants. All churches who condemn us will be closed. Our only gods are handsome young men. We adhere to a culture of beauty, moral, and aesthetic. All that is ugly and vulgar and banal will be annihilated. Since we are alienated from middle class heterosexual conventions, we are also free to live our lives according to the dictates of the pure imagination. For us, too much is not enough. You see that? So also it says here that the exquisite society to emerge will be governed by elite compromise of gay poets. One of our major requirements for a position of power in the new society of homoeroticism will be indulgence in Greek passion. Any man contaminated with heterosexual lust will be automatically barred from a position of influence. All males who insist on remaining stupidly heterosexual will be tried in homosexual courts of justice and will become invisible men. And you see right here, Congress Gov, and the House, Congressional Record House, February 25th, 1987, right? So this is in the Office of Congress. So now, with us reading, the deviancy, this should show already what's going on right now in this world. There's a lot of things that's going on that they're speaking with Diddy in a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Epstein and all this type of stuff. The Greek love, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these elite people operate and do some of these sex magics and stuff like that. And this shows this one right here, which is Salakia, which is this one, the third one right here, which it says anal intercourse. Magical techniques were taught, right? So with that, and those things were taught, which is very, very disgusting. You know what I'm saying? We see that with stories of the parties and stuff like this, in the way that they get power, you know what I'm saying? The power has a double meaning. This is what I'm telling you, right? So they have a thing that I've researched a lot of stuff. So they have a thing where they have like two swords, the little two swords or whatever. The two swords is meaning basically sworn to double secrecy, okay? And so whenever they speak about, whenever they have things that have the dual swords or whatever, you know what I'm saying, even the emoji that it has on these phones, these devices, have the dual swords, you know what I'm saying? When they use it, it's used for double secrecy, you know what I'm saying, an oath, a double oath. And so this is the thing that they do, you know what I'm saying, amongst one another, to be able to help empower each other and everything like that. This is another reason why the oath is to be able to not tell. This is why they always have the little shh thing or all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? All those type of things, you know what I'm saying, to keep secrets, which is the secret society and all this type of stuff, right? Which is Grecian, you know what I'm saying, practices, Roman practices, you know what I'm saying? They mix that with perverseness and all this type of stuff. This is another reason why the motion for the LGBTQ community, you know what I'm saying, is at a high, right? It's a lot of the leftists, right? A lot of the Democrats that back this, that back these things. There's Republicans as well. I'm not just saying, I'm not a person that's just like, the bird is the bird, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying though is this, is that there's a lot of people in the systems that end up backing a lot of these things, and to make it seem like that everything is just something that is not. So truly, as you've seen in the reading of what I just read, you know what I'm saying, via Mark Swift, you know what I'm saying, the Gay Manifesto, right? It says that celebrities are those who are in office, Congress, you know what I'm saying, those in judges and stuff like this, right? So if we know this, we know that right now, the case, you know what I'm saying, with the owner of Bad Boy, you know what I'm saying, P. Diddy or whatever, right, is because he has a list of a lot of people. Now this should show you, because a lot of people have backed down. There have been mayors that have been trying to, you know what I'm saying, there have been people who are in certain sponsorships, you know what I'm saying, of apparel, you know what I'm saying, business owners of many different companies, you know what I'm saying, in the conglomeration, you know what I'm saying, of what's going on, right? And so these people are being able to back down. This is another reason why there have been so many murders. There have been so many murders, you know what I'm talking about, for a lot of different people who didn't want to get down with the thing. So that's why a lot of rappers have fallen back, and people be thinking they're one-hit wonders or whatever. Is because they're not down with what the industry was trying to get them down with. You know what I'm saying? There have been people who mess around who are big names. I'm pretty sure a lot of the big names, you know what I'm saying, that have stayed afloat have had some type of dealing, you know what I'm saying, within certain things. Now, certain people that have not, but the majority of them most definitely have, right? And so it's because of this, these sex magic rituals, right, that they ended up infringing and stuff like that. Now we finna go a little bit deeper, you know what I'm saying, and speak about some stuff about the rituals, right? And then I'm gonna kind of play some stuff for you. But so aside from that, this is crazy. This is really crazy. I can't believe this is like, because I'm already thinking in the forefront of the, you know what I'm saying, the little thing I'm finna show you guys. Y'all finna be like, dang, that's serious. Yeah, it is. It's very deep. It's crazy. But also, really quick, this is why we show you this. This is why I showed you this book earlier, right? Aleister Crowley in America, Art, Espionage, and Sex Magic in the New World. Okay? So they're trying to make that, you know what I'm saying, the new world that they want to be that, you know what I'm saying? It's very demonic. Okay. This is another reason why they put certain things in the food and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? In the water, use plastics. All right. This is why they do this. And I'm going to read this to y'all so y'all can see. So it says right here, right? John D. Rockefeller, Masonic Creed, we will keep their lives short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in substitute ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, as well as in the air. They will be covered by poisons wherever they turn. Soft metals will make them lose their minds. I already showed y'all, not the last video, but the one before that, how they did the chemtrails, how they have the chemtrails and stuff, right? So as they have the chemtrails and everything like that, it shows you the things that the particles that they put in the air, which I've always spoke about. So all these particles that we're inhaling and all this type of stuff. Also, going right back real quick to the sex magic thing, this is another reason why they use those that are children as well for the adrenochrome, right? Is because they want to be able to invoke the fear, you know what I'm saying? Especially the fear with the climax, in order for them to harness that energy, which is very sick. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be a lot of people around child or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, chanting certain things to make them fear, and you know what I'm saying, make them feel like that there's no chance. And they do this, you know what I'm saying, within trafficking as well, right? And so when they do these type of things, you know what I'm saying, then they're trying to go ahead and invoke, you know what I'm saying, invoke the high energy of the individual, and for them to be able to harness that, and so they can either stay youthful or so they can consider it to be pure and all this type of stuff, right? And like I said, I research a lot, and I've heard stories of people, you know what I'm saying, who have converted their lives over, you know what I'm saying, to Christ, you know what I'm saying, to the Hamashiach, and they've spoken about a lot of these things as well. So this is another reason why I know a lot of this stuff, right? So look. So let's see. What is this? Can I enlarge it out? I should go down the list, but let me see if I can turn it and make it. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. All right, so look. Let me use this thumb again. I was like, what thumb should I use? All right. So you see they have these dates, right? They have these dates of things that to end up doing like the satanic practices. You know what I'm saying? And so this was for the month of August, but look at this. Satanic reveal, you know what I'm saying? Oral, anal, and vaginal. 7 to a 17-year-old female. You see that, right? This is another one. St. Bartholomew's Day. Great Sabbath and Fire Festival. August 24th. Large Herb Gathering. September 7th. Marriage to the Beast. Sexual. Sacrifice. Dismemberment. Infant to 21 years. Female is what they need. You see this? This is demonic practices. This is what I'm saying, right? September 21, midnight host, blood. We had a full moon on the 21st as well. Dismemberment, female, and hands removed. Where is it at? Hands removed for hands of glory. You see that? You see that? The 22nd, feast day, orgies, oral and anal, vaginal, any age for the fall equinox. Dates vary. The date varies. Depends on the moon cycle is why the date varies with these. Right? So preparation for Hallows Eve. Samhain, Halloween, and abduction, holding and ceremonial preparation of individuals for human sacrifice. This is why they have trafficking. This is why it shows you that those who are in power and stuff like that have financial backing, and they pay for a lot of the trackings, you know what I'm saying, for them to do certain things, right? So this is another reason why a while back, a few years back, whenever Oprah had sent I think like 400 or 100 and some or 200 some little girls on a trip, and then the plane ended up going missing, and people was like, well, where are the girls, and Oprah, you know what I'm saying, wicked witch self, was sitting there acting like that she was caring about it and stuff like that, when she's part of that stuff. You see that? And so these people don't really care about us, you know what I'm saying? The ones who are deeply in the stuff and you know what I'm saying, who are grooming those, you know what I'm saying, and trying to manipulate them and misuse them and everything, right? And so this is why, like I'm saying, it's very crazy, it's very sickening and wild, you know what I'm talking about? Because it's like, man, we see these Amber Alerts day in and day out. And because the Amber Alerts have become so much more common, what people end up doing is, you know what I'm saying, just because they don't want to hear the noise, they just click off of it. They don't look at who the person is that's missing. Then we have a lot of children that are missing, people who are missing, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook posts and stuff like that, posted in social media for them to be able to come home to their family. And the reason why a lot of people don't really want to post it is because it's gotten to the point where some of the psyops have messed around, and there are psyops and there are people who long for attention. And so the people who long for attention are the ones that, you know what I'm saying, will mess around and just post some stuff just for it to get likes or to get, you know what I'm saying, some type of form of empathy or whatever, right? It's because they have a narcissistic personality. So they'll do just to do it. They don't care about, you know what I'm saying, a person or whatever. It can be an old post, or they'll end up taking pictures of somebody who's really not missing just so they can try to get likes and attention. Okay? Now the psyop people will mess around and do it, you know what I'm saying, in order for it to kind of get tiresome and repetitive. So people will be like, you know what? There is no reason for us to, you know what I'm saying, keep sharing all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But the main thing is that you should be able to know if it's real, because whenever you look at somebody's profile, the person who had, you know, posted it, whenever you look at their profile and they're saying that they're missing this person and stuff like that, they want them home, their post that's after that will show, you know what I'm saying? People who mess around and post that this is who they want this person back, and then they mess around and, you know what I'm saying, post all kind of like little funny stuff after that. They don't really care about that person. It's not a for real profile, so it shouldn't be taken serious. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying do not still try to search for the person, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying though is that there are people that are like that do that, and you can see it. That's how you're able to know. You know what I'm saying? Now aside from that, this is another reason why they ended up doing the stuff that they were doing, you know what I'm saying, with you know, the young stars of Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, the Raven-Symones, the Orlando Browns, you know what I'm saying, most of the Disney cast. You see, there's a lot of those people. A lot of them, because people be like, well, Disney, they do Disney and stuff like that, and they come out odd, it's weird, you know what I'm saying, they turn to weirdos. It's because these children have been, you know what I'm saying, tampered with, and they were looking for a way out, and, you know what I'm saying, they didn't really have a way out because they've been passed around and told to hush, and if they do, then certain things will happen to them or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and this is why they all of them end up dabbling with some form of drug or alcohol or have some type of form of abuse, you know what I'm saying. Some of them have unalived themselves, and you see that this is a sick, twisted game, demonic game that these people use. And so they will have Disney and all these other places be the forefront of it, but it's not the forefront of it. I mean, they're not the full people, you know what I'm saying, who are the ones that are backing it all the way. You know what I'm saying? This is another reason why I'm pretty sure that if anything, what we should be cautious of, you know what I'm saying, aside from the distraction that they're trying to do. And I'm going to speak on that really quick too as well. Aside from the distraction that they're trying to do, you know what I'm saying, they want to be able to silence certain individuals, you know what I'm saying, so that way the list does not expose those who are farther high up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? And so they'll end up trying to silence a person, you know what I'm saying, that person or whatever. And as they try to silence that person, then they'll mess around and make it to where people will feel like that they have been some type of, you know what I'm saying, systemic retribution via justice, you know what I'm saying, and for certain people. But these are people that have been paid to do certain things. Nobody's talking about the people who funded the parties, you know what I'm saying, for Diddy and all this type of stuff. They're just looking at it as just Diddy. It's not just Diddy, that's the fall guy. There are a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, as we read this letter, you know what I'm saying, with Mark Swift, that speaks about the agenda. You see that this is the agenda that we're living in right now. That's another reason why the Most High is not playing with them. Why the Most High is like, yeah, judgment is being called. This is why a lot of things are being exposed and brought to the forefront. Because the Most High really is tired. He allowed certain things, you know what I'm saying, because the people were so stiff-necked, you know what I'm saying. We're a people that we hated each other. We would gun each other down, you know what I'm saying, and be clowns and suckers and follow everybody else that'll tell us to jump, and we'll be like, how high? Now it's gotten to the point where there's a lot of us that's like, you know what, this stuff really ain't what that is. And he's like, yeah, I can use you, because now you're able to see the truth, and you're able to know that I am the truth, and that as surely as I am, you know what I'm saying, the Father, and you are my creation, you know what I'm saying, and I've sent my son for real. And this is another reason why they try to hide a lot of those things, you know what I'm saying, via the Knights of Templar and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They switched it around. The original Knights of Templar were called the Holy Knights, right? And so a little quick, simple history lesson is that the Knights of Templar that were the Holy Knights were protecting of the Holy Grail, you know what I'm saying, which would be the Grail that Prince Emmanuel, you know what I'm saying, and there's another name that they ended up calling him. He had family or whatever, you know what I'm saying, but regardless, it all stems back, you know what I'm saying, from Yahusha. And so they were trying to protect scrolls and all these type of things, you know what I'm saying, for those who were trying to seize every bit of information, you know what I'm saying, under the Roman rule, right? And so this is another reason, because the last of them were executed, you know what I'm saying, on Friday the 13th. I think it was Friday the 13th, 1037 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying. And so as they were executed, this is another reason why they say Friday the 13th is like bad or whatever. For those people, they look at it as a special day. Now, the Knights of the Templar, which were the Holy Knights, had ended up being overtaken and seized, you know what I'm saying, via the Crusades and all this type of stuff, and they ended up using that for their own advantage. So this is why in masonry or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that they have a Knights of the Templar, which is one of the high, you know what I'm saying, ranks or degrees or whatever you want to call it. You see that? They got the clergies, you know what I'm saying, the Knights of the Templar. It's another one that I cannot remember at the time, you know what I'm saying, and then the Freemasons. So they have a lot of these different ones, but they also have other things as well, you know what I'm saying. So this is why I post a lot of stuff to show y'all these things, you know what I'm saying, because there are people that are ex-Masons that'll be like, hey, look, this is what this is, you know what I'm saying. There's been so many people that mess around and showed certain things of the Masonic Bible and stuff like that we're not able to get our hands on, but they're like, look, help expose, you know what I'm saying. So this is a part of that, right? So look, so with the trafficking, okay, let me see. I might have to turn it this way. There we go. With the trafficking, with them doing the trafficking and stuff like this, right? This is another way how they make their money. This is how much they pay, you know what I'm saying, once they are finished with the body and stuff like that and everything, or whenever they need, you know what I'm saying, they're doing all this dark stuff, this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? A pair of eyeballs and skulls, teeth, all this type of stuff. These things also, you know what I'm saying, aside from them being able to use these things for them to keep themselves, you know what I'm saying, in health and all this type of stuff, you know, they also use these things for certain, you know what I'm saying, satanic divinations, right? Of witchcraft. Witchcraft is very much real. So people acting like, you know, you got these little weak witches, play witches, you know what I'm saying, that's one to play witch, you know what I'm saying, and they're like low level doing certain things that those at the high level have kind of released certain magics and stuff like that, right? Invocations and stuff, you know what I'm saying, divinations and all this. So this is those will be the ones that operate in certain spirits and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and this is another reason why they try to always combat anytime, you know what I'm saying, one of us is speaking about the Lord, speaking about Abba Yah, you know what I'm saying, and talking about, you know what I'm saying, the heavenly authority. And so they keep trying to throw spells at us and stuff like that. But because we stay prayed up and we fast and we really do pray, then this is another reason why their stuff don't really work. This is why they be confused. And so they end up being like, oh, you must be a powerful witch. And we like, no, we're not witches. You know what I'm saying? We are actually opposite of what you are. You know what I'm saying? We're a spirit-filled people. And so this should already show, you know what I'm saying, that those low-level witches, because the high-level witches really know that the Most High is real for real. They know that, you know what I'm saying, certain magic tricks and stuff and summonings that they try to do to loose demons and spirits and stuff like that, if you were to pray for real like how we pray, you know what I'm saying, we're covered with holy fire. There are certain times attacks, you know what I'm saying, to try to be like depression and stuff like that, or certain things might weigh on us and stuff like that, but it don't last very long. That's one thing that you have to keep in mind. We're a lot stronger than what, you know what I'm saying, they think we are, because their demons will come back and tell them, you know what I'm saying, the spirits that they send out will be like, or people will mess around and look and see in the spirit, you know what I'm saying, because certain people can be able to dabble into certain things and they'll be like, oh, well, no, you can't really mess with that one. You know what I'm saying? There's been witches that have spoken about this. You see that? So this is why. And so, you know what I'm saying, they seem to kind of be amazed, but that's another reason why they be like, okay, well, if we can be able to execute somebody who was highly ranked in their spiritual authority, actually operating with the Most High, then we can rank up, and this will make us more powerful, because they require blood sacrifices as well. You know what I'm saying? If we can't get them sexually, then we'll go ahead and get them through blood. You know what I'm saying? If we can't really touch them in that way, then we'll send spirits forth and all this type of stuff in order for us to be able to infringe upon them. You see? So that's another reason why it's a lot more spiritual than what people think. Because people will tend to, they have people that are doers of the law and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but we protect those people as well. Because the people that are doers of the law are just looking at it as, okay, we do as of the law. They don't believe in a for real spiritual connection. They don't believe in for real praying and stuff like this. If they did, they would not enact the way that they enact in society. They wouldn't mess around and, you know what I'm saying, be trying to be like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, talking down on people who are still fellow Israelites or whatever, and then being like, well, you know, you nothing, and you just a simple one, and down talking and cussing them out and stuff like that. That's not bringing anybody to the Father. You see that? So then therefore the Father's just like, well, they doing my law, but at the same time, you are denouncing people from me. So you're really more of a hurt, you know what I'm saying, than you are of a help. You see that? And this is why they end up having the Confederate spirit, and why they end up having some people that lead them, and they're also in the Masonic order as well. And because they're like, well, you know what, you know what I'm saying, we have to keep certain things a certain way, so that way we can still be able to get paid to be able to do whatever. You have people that are at the top that end up paying these people. You know what I'm saying? I've already spoken about BlackRock, State Street, you know what I'm saying, and Vanguard are the three main ones that siphon the money within each other. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that they say that they don't really own everything. They just have a lot of stock in these things. Now, if they have a lot of stock in a lot of the things that's going on via media and all this type of stuff that we utilize, you know what I'm saying, then we also keep in mind that these are the same people that financially fund fact checking, you know what I'm saying, .org and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, and all the other little fact checking places. Also, we know that if Larry Fink is the main person who is one of the CEOs of BlackRock, then he is now also on the world, the WEF, the World Economic Forum. And we know what the World Economic Forum backs. So it goes within Congress and, you know what I'm saying, the political parties. So it's all in a big circle and a cycle. That goes up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? And so I won't go so deep onto that right now. I'm just sticking with because don't worry, I have that coming as well, right? But this is what I'm saying. So let's look at some things, right? Read some scriptures that back some of this. Is that Exodus 22:18, it says, you should not tolerate a sorceress. Okay? Leviticus 19:26 says, you should not eat anything with its blood. You should not practice divinations or soothsaying. So now you see why a lot of those people, they wear those red shoes, you know what I'm saying, signifying the blood, also dedication to Lucifer, while a lot of these people mess around and like to do blood sacrifices, you know what I'm saying, giving all hell to Satan, you know what I'm saying. Why you see, what's his name, Lil Nas X making a sneaker that has blood in it, they're infatuated with it. You see that? It's something about in the blood. One thing that they know that it's something that's within the blood. It says that life is in the blood. One thing that people don't know is that life really is in the blood. You know what I'm saying? As we have the Ruach, you know what I'm saying, which is the breath of life, we also have the light of life that is within us in the bloodstream. There's light actually in the bloodstream. I've already explained this before, but people don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the percentage of what it is of light that's within us. This also shows that this is another reason why we're able to have electromagnetic frequency, you know what I'm saying, to travel among us or among our body or whatever, why we're able to have energy, right? Energy comes from the light. It comes from something that is a spark. That spark is given to us, you know what I'm saying, which is called the zinc spark. That zinc spark is given to us once the egg, you know what I'm saying, is fertilized by the sperm. It looks like an eclipse. Go back on the video that I did called Mystery, you know what I'm saying, or I'll show you a mystery. I think that's the name of it. And so it speaks about that. You know what I'm saying? This is another reason why eclipses are so significant, you know what I'm saying, when dealing with these things, is because these are looking at new life. This is why they harness and hone energy, and they look forward to being able to do their harvest and their ritualistic practices, you know what I'm saying, on certain days, and, you know what I'm saying, going according to the moon and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. So when we realize that light is in the blood, then let me prove this again to you, is that when you see people that are looking on thermal, you know what I'm saying, readings of a person's body, right? You see light is in the blood. If there's a thermal scanner that shows, you know what I'm saying, the thermal scanner, right? It reads the light that's within the blood. So if you have some people have played games where there's you might have like a thermal scope or whatever, and then you looking at their thermal reading. And so once you know what I'm saying, unalive the player or whatever, then the light deteriorates and they go dark. This means the light is now leaving from that body. It's the same thing, right? This is another reason why they have certain scans of the human body, you know what I'm saying, that looks at bloodline and stuff like that, when they can tell which part of the body gets more blood, and, you know what I'm saying, it'll read from red to yellow to green to blue and all this type of stuff. It's reading the light off of the blood that is in the body. Okay? So this is another reason why they call themselves the enlightened ones as well, because not aside from knowledge, but because they're also able to absorb the light, the life force from a person that way. They can take your breath, but they can't take your breath, so they will take it in the blood. They would take it in, you know what I'm saying, doing the doo-doo, hoodoo, and all this extra stuff, you know what I'm saying. I think they call it, somebody said, and it was discussing, somebody, and I heard him say it, and I was like, wow, I didn't think that, I would never thought like that. But they said something is voodoo and the doo-doo or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is very crazy to me. But aside from that nasty stuff, you know what I'm saying, they have things that they practice, you know what I'm saying. Another thing that they do with the hoodoo or the voodoo, you know what I'm saying, whenever they mess around and put their blood in the food and all this type of stuff to be able to bind somebody to them or whatever, doing these type of practices, which shows that it is some form of witchcraft, which is witchcraft for real. So people are just thinking that witchcraft is just the things of narcissistic, you know what I'm saying, inactions that people do, you know what I'm saying, unto us and stuff like that. But it goes deeper than that. Okay? So this is why, you know what I'm saying, it's very deep, and you have to really be, you know what I'm saying, prayed up and really have a for real intimate relationship with the Father. Be able to really, you know what I'm saying, read the word, meditate, pray, you know what I'm saying, know who the Lord is for real. People thinking that we just saying this and thinking that we're trying to go into the religiosity of Christianity. I'm not going there. That's not what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us is not on that type of time. A lot of us is on the time that Yahweh has put us on. It's like, hey, I got watchmen, I got prophets. This is why it says in Revelations that, you know what I'm saying, there was dream dreams and see visions, you know what I'm saying, and many will I will cause many to prophesy, you know what I'm saying. And so this is another reason why you have the prophets of Baal that are out and about, that are trying to make it look like that they're prophets, but they're not. Well, they're prophets of Baal, you know what I'm saying, because they use sorcery, soothsaying, and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those that do the readings and divinations, you know what I'm saying, they have to look at cards and all this extra stuff, or have to look, you know, crystal ball type stuff, or try to get a piece of a person, or jar magic and all this extra stuff to be able to try to read a person to see, because they deal with familiar spirits. Okay? So look, now another one is this, is Leviticus 20:27. It says, a man or a woman who has a ghost or a familiar spirit shall be put to death. So this is why you have people that mess around and be like, well, they used to burn witches and all this, and there are witches of the light and witches of the dark and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. I won't get too deep on this, but what I'm gonna say is this, is witchcraft is witchcraft. Now, there are people that are able to do certain things, just like myself and other people who y'all see out here that are doing certain things, and y'all like, well, dang, how do you know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things I don't even know. The Most High is like, I blessed you with the gift, and you're using it the way that you can use it. I might not even be using it till its full entirety. There's still some more about me that I know, you know what I'm saying? But I know that my gifts comes from the Father, seriously. And I know that a lot of people have the same thing. But because the devil has had a lot of people go into contract with him, you know what I'm saying, they feel like the things that they are doing, not knowing that they're blessed with an ability, but they're using it in the wrong kingdom. You see that? So this is what I mean. It's the difference between somebody who is blessed with the gift and using it for the wrong kingdom, compared to somebody doing ritualistic, you know what I'm saying, witchcraft practices and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and feeling like that it's self-induced to still have to keep going back and playing with spirits that they don't even really need to be playing with. You see that? So another one, oh, I didn't finish reading the whole thing, my bad. So it says, again, Leviticus 20:27, a man or a woman who has a ghost or a familiar spirit shall be put to death. They shall be pelted with stones, and the blood gust is there. The blood guilt is theirs, right? And so one of the first witches, you know what I'm saying, is the witch of Endor, right? Endor. In the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, 1 Samuel 28:3 through 25, a female sorcerer who was visited by Saul, the first king of Israel, right? Okay. Now, it says here that the principle, as we note below, a distinction can be made between witchcraft as an expression of a malign power of a person's body, and sorcery is the use of magical craft or knowledge to harm or benefit others, right? So aside from that, how did they end up teaching people certain practices of witchcraft and them not really knowing, right? And so let me show you. This is one thing. There might be some people that be like, man, but hey, we gonna show you the truth regardless if you want to see it or not. So look, we talk about they use the moon, okay? This is one of them. Laya, Egyptian moon god, right? Origins of Allah, the god, right? Islam use of crescent moon originates here, right? Which is La in the hieroglyphs. We must have Allah free Bibles to please God. We must purify our worship. We must not speak in worship in the names of idol gods, right? Now, you see this on top of her head. Now look, Baal worship still exists. They just renamed it Islam, okay? Let's see here. Zephaniah 1:4. I will stretch out my hand unto Yehuda and all of those dwelling in Jerusalem. Let's see here. And I will cut off the remnant of Baal, right? From this place, the name of the idol worshippers and the priests. You know what I'm saying? Who is this Allah? Allah is Arabian moon god, also known as Baal, Hubal, and Molech. Muslims will react with denial when you point this out, that this was their god and the tribe of Muhammad was born into, right? Children were sacrificed to this demon idol. That is why the idol has its hands in position with a fire beneath. You see that? It's the same thing. This one is a bull. The other one that they have is an owl. That's at the Bohemian Grove. Okay? Did Muhammad know this? Yes, Muhammad advised some women who asked him about the issue of dying children and how Allah regarded that situation. He said, a woman whose 3 children died will be shielded by them from the hellfire. On that a woman asked, I only have if only 2 die. He replied, even 2 will shield her from the hellfire, right? So now you know the Muslim mothers are all willing to have their children die for Allah, and also why Muslims are so unwilling for you to know the truth about this devil worshiping death cult, right? Okay, so we talked about the Masons and we showed, you know what I'm saying, this. Okay, also I guess let me show you these two before we get to the next part I'm going to show you. Okay, so now look, history proves that before Islam came into existence, the Sabians, you know what I'm saying, in Arabia worshipped the moon god who was married to the sun goddess. They gave birth to 3 goddesses who were called Alat, Aluza, and Manat. They became idols and were worshipped throughout that part of the world as the daughters of Allah. The crescent moon symbol is everywhere in Islam. In 1950, the moon god was excavated at Hazar in Palestine. The photo shows Allah sitting on the throne. Notice the crescent moon on his chest. Right there. Right? Alat is the triple moon goddess in Astarte, who is also Semiramis, who was the wife of Nimrod, queen of Babylon. In the Catholic version is not Mary. This is the one that they, you know what I'm saying, right? So this is another reason why Catholicism and Islamic faith, you know what I'm saying, these two houses don't ever go against each other. They go against, you know what I'm saying, Judaism. You see, the real Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, lineage, Christianity, why they end up staging themselves to look like Jews, but they're not. They're false Jews, Zionists or Ashkenazi, right? So this is another reason why it speaks about in Matthew when he says that Baal cannot cast out, or the Baal cannot cast out Baal or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically saying that those that is wicked don't cast out each other. So this is why those religions don't have any issue with one another, while they always going against a certain religion, right? Or a certain lifestyle, let's say that. Because even that religion goes against the certain lifestyle. There'll be pastors and preachers and stuff like this in, you know what I'm saying, the religion of Christianity that don't really try to help people get saved, and they still want to try to dedicate these people, you know what I'm saying, to these graven false images, right? Because the things that they know is that they're giving praise and to on the altars, you know what I'm saying, to demonic entities. So this is why they'll say that lie, well, his color doesn't really matter. And then you have I seen something, there was somebody who was an Edomite talking about that, oh yeah, well, Yahusha was not black for real, and you know what I'm saying, he was really white and all this type of stuff, is because they want to be able to have a form of redemption, you know what I'm saying, and not acknowledge the truth, not knowing that judgment is really up on us, not acknowledging that there really is a psyop that is going on to be able to stop some things, you know what I'm saying, that's in the play of, right? Because the Most High is like, no, it's going the way it's going to go. And you know what I'm saying, those who want to try to prolong their little time or whatever from this judgment and this wrath that's about to be poured out unto them, it's going to all unravel. Everything's going to unravel. He's just allowing it to have time. So there'll be certain things that we could speak about, right? And as we speak about certain things, one thing I told you before in a previous video, you know what I'm saying, I don't remember which one it was, is that there are things that we see, you know what I'm saying, as watchmen. And we can see certain things. And so we know that one of the game plays is that if we see it and expose it beforehand, they'll mess around and be like, well, let's try to make him look discredited, or let's try to make her look discredited, so let's not do it right then. So then that puts a little bit more time on the clock, you know what I'm saying, for those who are asleep and don't know. You see that? This is actual for real provision. This is actually us really trying to help out, you know what I'm saying, our people in many different ways, where other people are like, well, you're not able to do whatever, but then a lot of people is able to see what I'm doing. There's a lot of people that watch and they see the effect, but they get mad because they're like, well, dang, how's the effect that you got that you're doing whatever, because the Most High works with me just like I work with the Most High. Seriously. And I work through the Spirit. So the Spirit, you know what I'm saying, is able to work through everybody. It spreads like a wildfire among those who know his voice. You know what I'm saying? There's many sisters and other brothers that mess around and they'll speak a message and stuff like that, and I will adhere to the message because I know that the Spirit speaks through them. This is how that goes. So nobody's sitting here trying to be cookie cutter, and you know what I'm saying? The thing about me is that he has many other people that are more cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, they cut straight to the chase. He's like, okay, well, you got a good heart posture. Let me use you and speak with you, you know what I'm saying, and through you to be able to encourage them, you know what I'm saying, to be able to fill the gates of the kingdom. Because this whole thing is about winning over souls. Those that were originally his, that he created. So many people want to go against. It'd be so many people that be like, well, the Bible ain't real and all this type of stuff, only for them to use the Bible to try to denounce the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And those who are saying that they don't like the Bible and stuff like that is because the things go against their lifestyle. They don't want to change their lifestyle. So they'd rather be in the bliss of ignorance, you know what I'm saying, instead of being able to study and show themselves approved. They like to be judgmental. They like to be, you know what I'm saying, balls of lust. They like to go ahead and dabble in the things they like to. They want to self-hate. They want to act like that they're greater than everybody else, not knowing that everybody is the same. They want to be able to be separated and divided and feel like that they are empowered because of their individuality, right? And that they don't depend on anybody, but yet they do depend on people. It's just like how these people of power depend on everybody else, all of us, in order for this whole thing to be able to work and operate, for it to correlate into the plan. Because once we don't come into agreement with it, then it's not. Once we start protecting, you know what I'm saying, the children more, once we start protecting our brothers and our sisters more, then they're not able to really traffic But they have a divide with us. They're like, okay, well, they don't really care. The women don't care and the men don't. So now this is playing right into the hands of the things that we want to do now. And then once they still try to band together, whatever, we'll keep trying to encroach fear upon these people. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll try to go ahead and use technological advances. We'll do rumors of war and then have them in fear from nukes and stuff like this. These people don't want to nuke you and me. The people that are in power look at each other and they like, I'm not finna work for you. I'm not finna work for you neither. So we need somebody to do it. So we need a whole downside of suckers to do so. And who are the suckers that they consider? They consider you and I the suckers. You're not finna have the left wing and the right wing look at each other and be like, I'm finna have you work for me. No, they on the same bird. That's what you need to get. They're on the same bird. They don't care about trying to be each other's slave. They want to be able to have other people that are in slavery. And it's going to be power in the number of those. But once a lot of us end up waking up and seeing for what it really is, then we take our power back. This is what they know. This is why they want to try to keep those of like myself and everybody else that's on the same wavelength down. Because if we can keep you down, there's some of them that be like, well, we'll go ahead and pay you just to go ahead and keep him down or to keep her down. You know what I'm saying? And they do that. These are the sellout ones. These are the coons, you know what I'm saying? The suckers, the sellout Sambos. And they do it gracefully. And the Most High see them though. But the thing about it is they don't really believe in the Most High because they don't have a real connection. So this is why they get jealous and upset and mad and have a Confederate spirit. How do you know what you know? Because I done spent more time in this and stuff like this. It's not about knowledge, beloved. It's about the connection. Now, aside from that, I'm going to show, yeah, I still got 3 more. I got 3 more to show y'all. Right. So here's another one. It says the crescent moon in Mecca and the star crescent was the emblem of the Ottoman Empire, symbol of Islam, right? The crescent pagan carving of the solar star deity Baal Hadad, depicted as a disc in a crescent. The disc in the crescent. Luciferian symbol. Now let's go back here. Right there. That's where they get that from, right? So let's keep going. Let's go more. Here's another one. Allah is the moon god. This is 2014, right? And this right here is the symbol from the Empire. The moon god rode on a winged bull, and his symbol was the crescent and the tripod. The tripod is another reason why they end up doing the 3. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because we know that Hinduism is the mother of religions, right? So they ended up doing the 3, and it was attributed, you know what I'm saying, attributed to the what is it called? Whenever it's like the praise of 3, you know what I'm saying, polytheistic or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the mother, the son, and the, you know what I'm saying, and it's a 3 thing. But they ended up trying to use it, but not knowing that everything is really just kind of like 1, right? But that'll be another thing for me to get into, not just right now. The black stone worshipped in Mecca is without a doubt a trace of pre-Islamic moon goddess worship that was very dominant in that area. So for it to be a black stone, we know clearly a black stone or a black rock is another reason why they have black rock, you know what I'm saying, having a huge part in the conglomerate of the conglomerate monopoly, you know what I'm saying, with Street State and Vanguard, because it's all demonic, satanistic, you know what I'm saying, satanic, right? So this is why they have these people that help pay for these parties, and a lot of these people have ties to the Ashkenazi Jews, to the Khazarians, to the Zionists and stuff like that. This is why they're trying to push hate speech against certain things. They will tell us that, oh, well, racism don't exist, and we get offended with racism. But then if you say something about the Holocaust, you know what I'm saying, then they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, and you'll have your head on a chopping block for that. But they want to mess around and be like, oh, well, that was, you know, and have all these people that go along, get along, and yeah, this is whatever and stuff like that. And so people will end up seeing that whenever somebody speaks about certain things like that, that it's a divide. No, it's an acknowledgement of what's really going on. Because at the same time, when you really acknowledge it and know it for what it really is, then you see that they are trying to eradicate a people, right? A people that are peculiar, that are the apples of the Most High's eye, because he knows that a lot of us are here to make it a better place. Those who don't think that it's for us to make it a better place are bold-faced lies, because nobody mess around and push the ideology of being able to kill the brother and stuff like that, except for the industry. Because last time I checked, if you really want to go back down the music lineage, the blues and all this type of stuff was singing about love and sorrows and pain and all this type of stuff. Never was it ever singing about people killing each other, or, you know what I'm saying, abusing women, you know what I'm saying, manipulating women, or, you know what I'm saying, downing your brother and stuff like that. You even got a song, I saw him and you and him walking in the rain. You know what I'm saying? Even when that brother said he was hurt, it wasn't singing about revenge. So what do you mean? That would mean that the industry has something to do with it. Who runs the industry? I don't think a lot of us do. Last time I checked. Who runs the banking system? I don't think a lot of us do, since we last checked. Who runs the media industry? The distribution companies? I don't think a lot of us do, last time I checked. So whenever you understand that for real, and you see where the seeds of Edom really are, and you see how they try to manipulate and try to utilize their own wicked agendas onto the people, onto a certain people, they're not messing around in having the Asians, you know what I'm saying, have self-hate with themselves. They're not messing around having, you know what I'm saying, the Hispanics and stuff like that with self-hate. You know what I'm saying? But what they're doing is they're trying to keep a divide from the nation of Yashara'el, because the nation consists of many different tribes. Why? Because the landmass that we're on consists of many different tribes. This is why there are tribes. People don't get it. It's so many people that still want to keep talking about this Africa, Africa, Africa. Yes, Africa is a part of the tribe of, you know what I'm saying, Yashara'el. But the main tribes were scattered on the landmass. If that's the case, then there would be lineage of Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Haitians, Dominicans, you know what I'm saying, the Native Americans and stuff like that on African landmass. But guess what? There's not. So what happened? If Noah had traveled from one place to another, then wouldn't Noah's Ark be over here? But you see that? The reason why is because a lot of people don't really want to believe what it is, because they want to talk about cognitive dissonance, but don't really want to do the research. And the only way that I know a lot of this stuff is because it was given to me. The father was like, well, yeah, but keep looking. I told you before. The whole reason why I dabbled into a lot of different things was because I was trying to really seek out the Father's real name, to be able to give him praise by his name seriously. I wanted a real relationship with him. And down that rabbit hole I went, and he showed me a lot of different things. That's another reason why they're trying to cover up a lot of stuff. But people want to keep talking about this Pan-Africanism and all this type of stuff. I love the African brothers and sisters, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep in mind that it's two different continents, and there's things that they're doing to those people, which is our brothers and sisters, and that they're doing here on this land. These people know that a lot of stuff happened here. So what they're trying to do is they're reliving certain things, and then they're trying to be like, okay, well, let's go ahead and wait till everything goes to crap here, and then we're going to escape, and they won't have no kind of landmass to be able to do whatever. They don't plan on trying to move somebody else somewhere else. They want to try to go ahead and abuse and use and shut down everything, you know what I'm saying, in treason that they have done on our landmass as indigenous individuals. And then go to where they're trying to go to escape to a better place. This is why they have vegetation in Ukraine and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But Putin ain't going for it. The war of Gog and Magog against Babylon? Oh, okay. This is in the Word. So don't get mad at me, get mad at the Father. I'm just the messenger. That's the thing, is that people don't get it. And this witchcraft is very much deep that they try to use. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm telling you. They're trying to use that. They're trying to have a lot of us be in agreement with the contracts that they want to be able to put out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, I've showed you this, and we have this and these different agendas and all this type of stuff. You should know that wickedness truly lives if a person or people, a group of people, have billions and trillions of dollars and they have nothing better to do, don't really want to help the economy or help everybody else, you know what I'm saying, be out of poverty, don't want to really fix the system, you know what I'm saying, but they'll raise inflation and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, have everybody fighting each other, you know what I'm talking about, make it look like it's a grandiose country and everything like that, have people come over here just to have them, you know what I'm saying, to be undergirded, mistreated, abused, neglected, hoodwinked and bamboozled, right, with their dollars and stuff like that, is they go ahead and playing like a rat race. You see that? They want to do that type of stuff. They don't care. They have they have all this money, and then they're like, okay, well, we're bored with it, so now let's go ahead and create calamity and strife. And they have a lot of people falling into that. You should see that the enemy really is demonic. This is why it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? But wicked spirits, principalities, those who are wicked, princes of darkness in high places. Princes of darkness. This would mean they have an inheritance to darkness, right? In high places. Heavenly places? Dark heavenly powers? Oh, okay. Okay, so let me see here. There's something else I need to show y'all. Oh, I said I was gonna play one thing for y'all really quick, right? Where is it at? I might post the video, as a matter of fact. I might have to post the video. Let me see here. Let me go here. I'll play just a little bit of it. Where is it at? Should be on here. There we go.
Get up there. They tell me, oh yeah, you can't bring your phone in. I'm like, first of all, who ain't bringing their phone in? And then you got to sign some papers. What am I signing? They finna get into a party. Like, what? This is where it really threw me off. They said they had to prick your blood to get in.
Blood sacrifice thing. I don't know if you got into all that, but can you kind of go there, being as though you were in the belly of the beast in the music industry?
To be a member of the Illuminati or a member of the elite society or whatever, I've had motherfuckers come at me on some weirdos, like on some gay. Oh, you should do this. I view that as being inhuman. I view that as I would never do that.
At some point, you're gonna get invited into a house. Mm-hmm. And the house is going to be broken down into certain rooms. Mm-hmm. And these rooms are designated by activities. Mm. So if you don't do the activities, you don't get in the room. And so there's some of these houses and parties I've been invited to, you get there and you realize, this ain't for me. Yeah. I wanted to see, could I get invited and get in that hole? And then you get in that hole and realize, man, I don't do this. I don't fuck around like this. You over the wrong room, though. You be like, oh, damn, bro, that's how you move? You think you want to be in these rooms with these people, and you get in the room and you realize it's not where you want to be or where you need to be.
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. You be looking at all the rooms, and you and look in the wrong room. Nick, come here, come here. Is that kissing?
For many people, 2024 has been a year of exposure, especially with what is going on in Hollywood. And it all started with Diddy. But we've been knew that. From the golden age of Hollywood, these things were always happening. There is literally nothing new under the sun. Have you guys heard of what sex magic is? We're going to talk about these terms, but I must have a disclaimer. I am going to filter a lot of my words, and I will try to bleep out as many things as possible because we know how YouTube is with certain topics. So support the video, thumbs up, because I have no doubt.
Okay. Now the rest of that I'm gonna post because my time is dwindling down, right, with the video. But I'm gonna post it in the school, in the mystery school, so you can be able to see it yourself and see and be like, oh, so everything I'm saying is going to make sense. One thing I need to say is this on closing, right, is that one of the big plays is to make those who have did the dealings with the industry that are of melanated descent to effeminize them. So this means that those who are pastors, preachers, and all this type of stuff, those main ones will be thrown under the bus, most definitely, in order to effeminize. So it looks like that it is all of us in a collective. Okay? So keep that in mind. Keep your eyes open and see the truth for what it is. It's because if they can make it look like that we're a people that are unstable and that are effeminized and we go with the flow and everything like that, we end up looking, you know what I'm saying, that much more incapable and ignorant. So then they're able to try to do their little game plan or they end game, you know what I'm saying, to make it look like, oh, well, they destroyed themselves, they don't care and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, when they used a lot of us as mules. Okay? Or not us, they used a lot of our people as mules, as workhorses and stuff like that to get an agenda done. Whenever they wanted somebody to be unalived and stuff like that, they used a lot of us to do so. Aside from some of them that they used a lot of us to do so. So keep that in mind. This is partially of a big play of what they want to try to do. You know what I'm saying? It's to make it look like, because we already have, they know that we have the power within us. And so if they can keep us divided that much longer and with distractions and people, you know what I'm saying, looking at the old Roman practices and stuff like that, looking at these sports arenas and all this type of stuff to still be able to be enthused and, you know what I'm saying, excited over something else, they're not going to show you what they're doing back here. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be able to be like, whenever we don't pay attention to that and we like this, then this won't even be, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you see that? So keep that in mind. This is why I encourage you to be able to still support one another in you know what I'm saying, be in togetherness, seriously. Because these are the times when we're going to really need it. And, you know what I'm saying, the Most High got a lot of us, but the thing about his judgment as well is he's going to take his hands off a lot. He's going to leave a lot of those people who want to rest in ignorance to their own devices and watch them, you know what I'm saying, be like ravenous wolves and starving dogs amongst each other. And they will be a dog-eat-dog world while there's provision, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of us. And those who are at the top thinking that they're going to be able to run and escape and all this type of stuff, they have placed so much wickedness in the atmosphere that it has not too many places to go, and it will come and consume them. They will definitely fall a victim to those things, you know what I'm saying, of being a deviant, you know what I'm saying, and bearing bad fruit. They will definitely fall a victim to those things that they have ended up setting out on the world. Because one thing is that there's a law that's called karma. People will act like it don't exist, but it exists. And whenever you're dealing with demonic spirits and they don't have anything else to feed, they're going to come back. Same thing like in that scripture. That's in, what was it? I think it's in Luke, when it speaks about an unclean spirit leaves a man, you know what I'm saying, and wanders around getting no rest. And then, you know what I'm saying, it can find none until it comes back to its house, which is that man. So think about this, is that there are many men and women that have put these things out there. And these spirits are like, okay, you know, now we finna come back with 7 more powerful than the one that you had set out. So it's your fault. You done try to play, you know what I'm saying, the game, and your arms was too short to box with Yah. But here you have it. And here it goes. So this is why I tell a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, make sure that you for real have your spirit right, and that you really trying to take the time, you know what I'm saying, to be able to bond with the Most High seriously, to know that he loves you seriously, to repent, turn from your ways, you know what I'm saying, because it's finna get hectic. And the thing about it is, he has a lot of us to be able to speak on certain things, but after a while, he gonna be like, you know what, let me go ahead and pull mine back and let you do what you want to do. And it ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying, no, what do we do next and all this type of stuff, because in that time it's gonna be a time of test and trials and tribulation, and he's gonna be quiet. So keep that in mind. But like I said, this ain't no fear mongering. This is just informative and letting you know that witchcraft is really real. You know what I'm saying? That the people that a lot of people are looking up to are not the people that you think they are. And knowing that, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of the ins and outs of darkness, you know what I'm saying, and shedding light onto those things, right? So in the meantime, I'm going to keep praying for y'all. Y'all stay prayed up seriously, you know what I'm saying? For those who are really doing the work, I am proud of you seriously. You know what I'm saying? The Most High loves you. The Lord loves you seriously. You know what I'm saying? You are loved. Keep pushing. Keep going. You know what I'm talking about? It seems kind of hard, but you in the storm. But I told you before, you know what I'm saying, the story of the buffalo and the cow. The cow runs away from the storm, you know what I'm saying, ends up getting swallowed by the storm because the storm pulls it in. The buffalo runs straight into the storm because the calmness is in the eye of the storm. And as the storm passes, the buffalo was wet for a little while, but then the storm passes and the buffalo was unscathed. You see that? So make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that you are spiritual buffaloes into your storms. And there's going to be some things that shake you up, but just know that the Most High is one to make sure that you have strength. Even if you don't feel like that you are that strong, a little bit of strength to even get up and pray, to even just be like, you know what, you know what I'm saying, help me or whatever, or even the groaning, even for you to acknowledge in your mind and have it in your heart, the Holy Spirit will actually be able to intercede for you. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit, the Most High, will be able to hear your groans, because the Holy Spirit is like, this is what these groans are about. So the Father really is loving. It's been so many things that he set up, you know what I'm saying, in order for us to be able to be, you know what I'm saying, saved and be not plucked from his hand and be under the shadow of his wings. So, you know what I'm saying, with that, stay encouraged, stay prayed up, you know what I'm saying, guard yourself. Whenever you have certain dreams and you don't denounce them as you wake up, then it's kind of like you come into agreement. So if you have dreams that seem kind of weird and you like, man, I don't, make sure that you remember to be like, I denounce those things, and you know what I'm saying, I null and void the contract of any demonic spirit, of any wicked presence, or anything that is cast up over me. Claim holy fire over it, you know what I'm saying, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach or Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying, because the Lord knows, you know what I'm saying. So just, he knows the level that you're at. Okay, so that's just one thing. Just make sure you stay straight, make sure you stay strong. And with that, you know what I'm saying, I bid you adieu in Lalatov, you know what I'm saying. Shalom.